Music, the heart and soul of our generation. The most important thing in life. Well, at least for these Windsor artists, it is. Richie Nix is a successful Windsor artist who, along with many others, is passionate about creating music.
My music is very versatile. It's a hybrid of either rock, rap, electronic, metal, and hip-hop. And I'm also moving towards producing a lot of pop and EDM. When I was an unsigned artist, I did a lot of shows for the same friends and family locally, and it becomes frustrating putting all your efforts into something and sometimes nobody would show up. I took that anger and frustration and channeled it into energy to do more music and make it better. Why aren't they coming? What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? So those empty venues and those empty shows actually motivated me to get the attention of a label. And once the label signed me, then you have the funding and they have the machine to get you a wider audience. I have fans now in Poughkeepsie, New York, and go there and play a show. I could tour in Florida for a week, just in Florida. I wouldn't have been able to do that on my own per se at the time that I was doing it. But nowadays with the internet, there are benefits to staying in indie as an indie artist. Now a kid goes to listen to something he wants to hear, they go on YouTube or they go to their phone and stream it. I believe that the Windsor scene has a tremendous amount of talent, and I think the issue we have is that we don't work together enough. If we did, we'd be an unstoppable force. We need to just form together like Voltron, get all the lions together, and we'd be able to do some major things. I think that's one of the key things stopping us from growing to the next level. It's just a matter of networking and collaborating, because there's something that someone down the street can do that you need done, and you don't know how to do it. If everyone did that in the city, or at least the majority, things would start changing for us, I promise you.
In addition to successful artists, Windsor is also home to professional producers such as Brandon Derivo, who helps coach aspiring music artists.
My name is Brandon Derivo, aka Sugar Shad. I'm a recording engineer and music producer out of Windsor, Toronto, and Detroit. I'm also the owner and operator of Mad Records. MAD was founded in 2007 out of Toronto. The whole purpose of the company, it stands for Music Artist Development. So what we do, instead of being your regular production facility, is we coach you through all the stages of your development. Either it be recording, songwriting, image, music production, advertisement, the marketing structure of your product, and just the overall branding of the artist. I think the future of Windsor aspiring artists looks good. The major reason why is because of the outlets that they have today. Now they have production companies and music companies and advertisement companies that they can help get their music out to the bigger stage. The story of me and Munch is quite unique. He's kind of the staple right now for my company. Major reason why, he's stayed committed and walked through all the stages. So he was an aspiring musician out of Detroit, and he said, one day I want to be one of the top recording musicians in the industry. At the time, he was very novice, so we sat there and we've worked together, either worked on the songwriting, the beat selection, the vocal coaching in the booth, and projection. So I'd say we've been doing this about 7 years. So he came in with an aspiration and a dream, and then all the way up to, say, last month, he had the opportunity to open up for an artist such as Big Sean.
Munch is from the city of Detroit, but just like the artists here in Windsor, it's hard for him to make his mark in the recording industry.
What's up? My name is Maher Hashim, but I go by Munch Music. I'm an independent artist, currently not signed. And a little background from me, I've been making music for about 7 years now. I record at MAD Studios in Windsor, Ontario. I put out 2 projects so far. The first one is called The New Kid. The second one is called Beaches. And I'm working on my 3rd EP right now. Some struggles I faced over the course of the last few years as I'm pursuing my passion of music. One of the main ones is just people really not believing in what I see. I mean, I've been making music since I was 15 years old, actually recording. And I don't know, at that age, people are just like, think it's a hobby. It's not something that, you know, is gonna stick with me. So they're just like, they show like this like fake appreciation. And once, you know, I keep pushing and I keep pushing, because there's a lot of like external influences of people saying like, oh, he's not actually doing it. It's a joke, it's a hobby. He's just, you know, doing something right now. And now that I'm about 7 years into it, I feel like I've grown this confidence where it doesn't hold me back anymore. It actually makes me more open to sharing my music with the world. My outlook on the recording industry now, it's pretty positive actually. There's a lot of different opportunity and outlets for musicians to get exposure and, you know, reach an audience that will actually appreciate their art. So, I mean, I'm just excited because, you know, there's a bunch of new cities coming up where they have new music scenes, new artists coming out, and there's no like limit that sometimes a label will put on you. They don't kind of like, they won't put your music on the shelf for a few years. It's like you can upload your music directly to the people. That ability to get your music and put it up to your audience and people that appreciate you yourself, there's like no cost for that.
Munch has successfully overcome obstacles that have surfaced in his journey of making music. Unfortunately, there are many artists who struggle to overcome such obstacles. The Stroll is a local band in the Windsor area. They are students, and for them, the struggle is real.
My name is Santino Obano, and I'm 21 years old. The band that I'm in is The Stroll, and we play rock and roll and like indie rock, and I play the guitar. The Stroll became The Stroll about 3 years ago when me and Tracy were jamming and Corey and Aaron were jamming, and my dad is friends with Aaron's dad, and he said, hey, why don't you guys like meet each other, and you guys both like the same style of music. So I met Aaron, and he was like, wanted to get into a band, so I was like, all right, I know a drummer, and let's form a band together. And then we started practicing. We found a bass player from our friends. Some ups and downs about being in the Stroll would be like going to record in a professional studio was a great experience. I loved the engineer that was there, and he was a great friend. And it was just awesome to record, and then now I can say that I have a piece of art that I have created for the rest of my life. Some downs would be like playing at some shitty bars in Windsor, dealing with bar owners that don't care about the bars themselves, let alone the bands. Band members and frustrations with them, dealing with the commitment issues that they've had, and things I do to like get into the music scene in Windsor, like volunteer work and stuff, especially through my program. I have to do some volunteer work for entertainment technology. So I am friends with the owner of a bar in Windsor called Rockstar. So his name is David, and he lets me come in and work the audio board and stuff. It's also fun when like good bands come in, because then I get to talk to them and their experiences in Windsor and get to know everyone in the music scene. So the Stroll has broken up. We had some issues with personality-wise, I guess, in the band. Nobody was that committed about it anymore, and which is a real big factor in a five-piece band. It's hard to get 5 guys to practice in one day when everyone's got jobs and everyone's got school.
Although some musicians fail to overcome the obstacles that surface while trying to make it as a Windsor artist, it is very possible to overcome them and become a success. What is the secret?
My advice is just to keep going, keep making music or creating whatever you're creating, and don't put it in your mind that, you know, you're not good enough or you're not, you know, people won't like this. It's all about you appreciating your own. You know, if people like it, then that's just a plus. You know, in the end, it should be about your own growth, and I'd say just keep growing, practice, and stay positive, because having a good morale around whatever you're creating will always, you know, have a good product.